All right, welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning, episode 311. Today, going to be previewing the NFC Championship, but really looking at what it means for both Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady's legacy, being that they are both nearing the end of their careers and both in the GOAT conversation. But before we get into that, question of the day involving the Green Bay Packers. Who is their all-time franchise passing yards leader? Again, answer revealed at the end of the video, so stick around. But Jay, Aaron Rodgers 37, Tom Brady 43. Both of them, you could argue that this would be their last shot at the biggest stage in football. Yeah. What does this mean moving forward for their legacies in the GOAT conversation?
Yeah, I mean, arguably, in my opinion, straight accolades, accomplishments, achievements, Brady's the GOAT. I don't think anyone can really argue against it. He's 6 Super Bowl rings. The next best is 4. It's pretty big of a gap. And then pure talent-wise, God-given skill, I do think Aaron Rodgers might be the best quarterback all time by those standards. But through straight accolades and longevity and statistics, Tom Brady does have the man beat. Yes, Aaron Rodgers might have a better touchdown and interception ratio, but even now, with Aaron Rodgers being 37, for him to go on and play till 43, that seems realistic and reasonable, but Tom Brady's like the first guy to ever do this outside of 2 other players, Brett Favre and some other guy they mentioned in the playoffs to be the second oldest quarterback. He played at 43 as well, so I don't see Aaron Rodgers playing another 6 years. Is it possible? Yes. But to me, if Aaron Rodgers gets another ring, I'm not going to say he retires this year, but saying two more years, he gets one more ring, I think he's going to cash out on a great note. I don't think he's going to play forever like Brady and like Drew Brees as well. I do think Aaron Rodgers' clock is ticking a lot faster than we think. But for this game, this is a scenario neither quarterback has been in before. This is the first NFC Championship game Aaron Rodgers has played in at home, and this is the first NFC Championship Tom Brady has played in. So really a lot, I don't want to say...
First time they've ever met each other in the playoffs as well.
A lot is definitely on the line in any conference championship game, AFC, NFC, wherever you play, no matter who you're playing against. Everything's on the line. You're fighting for a Super Bowl here. And this is, like I said, 2 of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, arguably. They're right there. No matter who your GOATs are, they're right there neck and neck with your Dan Marinos, Joe Montanas, Brett Favre's, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning's, whatever it is. They're in that GOAT list, GOAT category, Hall of Fame guys. And really, what do I expect for the legacy? I think Tom Brady, like I said, is already established as a GOAT. And it's really, he's just on a different tier than everyone else by achievements, having the 6 touchdowns and everyone else having 4. And to me, if he gets 7 and one of those are being on a separate team, Tom Brady will have more Super Bowl rings than any NFL franchise, him having 7, the next best being 6 by the New England Patriots and Pittsburgh Steelers. So for him to get this 7th Super Bowl ring and go through Aaron Rodgers and possibly go through Patrick Mahomes, going through Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, that might be the toughest road to the Super Bowl.
And Taylor Heineke, the newly established GOAT.
That might be the toughest road to a Super Bowl win in NFL history. It's arguable, but, I mean, he's right up there with those tough paths. I think he's definitely going to establish himself as a solidified GOAT. He already is there for me, but, of course, there's critics out there who's never going to give it to him. But to me, it's hard to argue against 7 Super Bowl rings. And, therefore, if it's vice versa and Aaron Rodgers gets over Brady, beating the greatest quarterback of all time, if he could get a 2nd ring, yeah, it's still going to be tough to make a GOAT case just because a 2-6 ratio of Aaron Rodgers only getting 2 Super Bowl rings and Brady still having 6. It's still going to be tough to make it seem like he is better than Brady by straight stats and achievements, but I do think no matter how this outcome ends, in my mind, no matter who wins the Super Bowl, who wins this matchup, in my head, it's still going to be Brady's going to be the best GOAT along with accomplishments and achievements, and Aaron Rodgers has the best GOAT talent, in my opinion.
Yeah, I certainly agree that talent-wise, Aaron Rodgers is hard to argue with. Yeah. His arm strength, even at 37, his movement on his feet, whatever. Aaron Rodgers might be the most talented quarterback ever. But even at this very moment, I think it's hard to make a reasonable argument to why Tom Brady is not the greatest quarterback ever with his accomplishments, as Jay mentioned. But if Tom Brady goes on and wins the Super Bowl, there really is no other way to say other than he's the greatest of all time. There's absolutely no argument against it. If he gets a 7th, and his 7th being his first year in the NFC, there's absolutely no way you can argue that he's the greatest of all time. And like I said, even at this moment, I think that's still the case. But he wins this year theoretically. He escapes all the system quarterback with, Belichick gets all the credit. Because, I mean, you look at Belichick and the Patriots now missing the playoffs, Tom Brady NFC Championship. That speaks for itself. But if he gets the ring, that basically eliminates any argument against him being the greatest of all time. Now, for Aaron Rodgers, he, in my opinion, needs this ring this year to put himself into the greatest of all time conversation seriously. Because you look at other guys involved in that, of course, Brady with 6 going on, possibly 7. Peyton Manning even got 2. I mean, Joe Montana got 4. So really, those are 3 guys that deserve to be in the conversation, and they all have multiple Super Bowl championships. What does Aaron Rodgers have? 1. I mean, he's got the talent, like we mentioned. He's got 2 MVPs, getting ready to win his 3rd. Brady has 3. So in those aspects, he's there. Super Bowl rings is what he's missing. So if Aaron Rodgers wants to be in that conversation seriously, he needs to get a win this year. And if Brady wants to be in that conversation seriously, he could never play football again because that's where he already is. So as far as pressure, I think Tom Brady, I was watching Greenberg this morning talk about pressure on each quarterback. I think there's far more on Aaron Rodgers because Tom Brady has already done more than anybody else in NFL history by far, and Aaron Rodgers is right on the brink of in that conversation, possibly right under Brady as greatest of all time, pending a win this year.
Yeah, and just to be clear, this isn't like a Jordan LeBron thing. We're not going to favor the guy with more rings, like Jordan having 6 and LeBron having 4. We're not going to try and say he'll never be the greatest because of that. Because like for a perfect scenario, Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowl rings and Aaron Rodgers only has 1. No one's going to say Eli Manning's better than Aaron Rodgers. So just to be clear, we do think Aaron Rodgers is amazing. We're not trying to hold him back due to his 1 ring, but
that second one would just.
It is still a factor. Yeah, you can't just ignore it.
Part of the equation, but not the entire thing.
But we're not going to rely on it completely. And really, thinking about how much this win would mean for Tom Brady, I mean, if you look at Peyton Manning, when he won with the Colts, that was a big thing. But for him to go to a second team and win with the Denver Broncos, I don't know if that's been done before. If I'm not mistaken, he might have been the first guy to do that. So for him to have that huge accomplishment and that only be his second ring, and that kind of threw him in the GOAT case, creating that only getting 2 rings, 2 on separate teams. That threw him in the GOAT case alone. And now Tom Brady, he might get 6 with one team and 1 with another. That's not even close to being done before, and it kind of makes Peyton Manning's accomplishment look like nothing. Yes, it's worth something, but you guys know what I mean. Tom Brady definitely one-upped him 100% if he pulls this off with the Buccaneers. And if you look at it, even if Tom Brady doesn't pull it off this year with Drew Brees retiring, that division is getting a lot weaker, and Tom Brady and the Bucs are finally clicking, and he could go on for another one next year. Who's to say the man doesn't win this year and another one next year and get 8 rings? Yes, that's bold, and I'm not going to say that's going to happen, but the possibilities are endless, it seems, for Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers, I'm a Bucs fan, but if it weren't for him playing the Buccaneers, I would be pulling for him. But unfortunately, it is what it is, and I don't think I could see myself rooting for Aaron Rodgers over the Buccaneers this year.
I gotta agree there. I mean, you look back on Brady's career, you think, what more can he do? This is exactly what more he can do is win with his first year in the NFC. So, like I said, I'm going to stand by the fact that if he wins, there's zero argument for anybody else to be the greatest of all time. And if Rodgers wins, that throws him right into the top 3 all time in my opinion.
The thing is, even if he wins, does he get into the conversation? Yes, but is he at the top?
Not at the top. Like I said, Brady's at the top regardless in my mind, and I think that's how it should be. But Rodgers could make a jump from outside the top 5 to in.
Yeah, I mean, now if Aaron Rodgers somehow pulls it off this year and gets a 3rd one, by the time he retires, then you're finally getting somewhere because you took down Tom Brady and you finally got another one past the age of 38 at that point. Definitely creating a case. But
plus, he's done it to compare with Brady, yes, less help and under a completely new system. It's only LaFleur's 2nd or 3rd year in Green Bay.
2nd, if I'm not mistaken.
Whatever. So he got one with was it with McCarthy, you think? I don't really know. Had to been with McCarthy in 10-11 season, and that was in a new system. So there's always aspects of one guy's game that's different than Brady. Of course, Brady got all his rings with Belichick, but winning this year would totally change that also. So
yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers would definitely have everything against him, I'd say, help-wise. So yeah, it's definitely an accomplishment.
Now, as far as the matchup, I mean, it's obviously possible whoever wins this game goes on to lose the Super Bowl. You think it really matters if Rodgers wins against Brady but then loses against Mahomes? I mean,
that'll definitely hurt him. To me, if the Bills make it, the NFC's winning, in my opinion. I don't have a lot of faith in the Bills having 0 run game. Obviously, a run game isn't required, but it has to be somewhat apparent. It can't be completely absent. To me, you're not going to win a Super Bowl when you can't run the ball more than 5 times in a football game. So to me, the NFC wins if the Bills make it. But if they play the Chiefs, it's going to be hard for everyone. Even if they could create a close game, it's definitely at least worth acknowledging, and it's not worthless by any means.
Sounds good. All right, guys. That's all we have for today. Question of the day. Your answer for you Packers fans who probably knew this. It is Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers is 2nd all time for the Green Bay Packers, but Brett Favre, most passing yards in franchise history. Again, thanks for watching.